After one-shotting Goku and Vegeta in their newly achieved strongest forms, Frieza cemented his place as the strongest mortal in the Dragon Ball universe. The thing about being the strongest though is that it only reflects a moment in time. Once that moment passes, another guy could be the strongest, and the Granola arc teaches us that as the title is tossed back and forth before Frieza seemingly claims it for good. With 10 extra years of training under his belt and new opponents showing up for him by the minute, how strong is Frieza actually? I do Dragon Ball videos like this extremely often, so if you like that type of content, consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel, as it helps me out a lot. If we're going to talk about how strong Frieza is, we need to get a quick gauge on his power level and what this means for the future, because being the strongest doesn't really tell you as much as you might think it does. If the guy behind him has a power level 1,000 points lower, he's obviously not the strongest by much, but if the guy below him has a power level nearly 1 billion points lower, then he's obviously the strongest by a decent margin. Frieza is a being with insane potential, far more than either Goku or Vegeta, and to match his insane potential, he has one of the most ridiculous rates of growth we've seen in the franchise. In just the span of 4 short months, Frieza, who had never trained before, managed to push the limit of not only his base form to levels higher than Majin Buu and even potentially Super Saiyan God Goku, but unlock a new transformation and completely eclipse everything Goku and Vegeta were able to do in the last 17 years since they fought. So what did Vegeta and Goku do in those 17 years that makes this so impressive? Obviously they got a ton stronger, but how much stronger they actually got almost can't be put into words or numbers like it used to. After being defeated on Namek, Frieza would be rebuilt by a team of scientists under his father's employ into a cyborg-like android as a prelude to what is to come in the next arc. With this new and improved body, Frieza felt confident in heading to Earth to take out Goku. It's worth noting that El Manga Legendario, as well as the Dragon Ball Kai Dragon Book, called the boost in strength Frieza received both significant and considerable. The Dragon Book stating Frieza had survived while harboring a burning grudge against Goku. He was resurrected in a mechanical body and underwent a significant power boost. And El Manga Legendario saying verbatim, with his body transformed into a machine, his combat strength increased considerably. And on a later page saying again verbatim, after his defeat at the hands of Goku, Frieza's body was enhanced and became even more powerful. Putting a number on this increase is difficult or nigh impossible when talking exclusively about the manga, but the anime's Dragon Book claims that Frieza attacked Trunks with a blast 10 times greater than the one he used to blow up planet Namek. Frieza did claim he held back too much power on this blast, but to be fair, it was still fast enough that Super Saiyan Goku couldn't deflect it with the ki blast, and when he says he held back too much, while he likely meant he didn't put 50% of his power into it, which was the level he was currently at, he could have meant that he needed more than 50% to blow up Namek in one shot as well, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he did use all 50% or his max output at 50%, then a 10 times increase would lead to him being 5 times stronger than he was on Namek at 100% as a cyborg against Trunks. Nonetheless, he was still no match for Trunks or Goku, so within the last year and a half since he fought Frieza, Goku had gotten significantly stronger, so strong that he could have one-shot Frieza at this point. He'd go on to eclipse this power after 3 more years of training to fight the androids that were fated to appear, and then again reach the highest height seen so far, unlocking Super Saiyan Grade 4 and completely eclipsing Trunks and Vegeta's power, and even lapping Vegeta as Vegeta spent another year in the time chamber and still couldn't catch up. This is after both of them had surpassed Kami Fuse Piccolo. Piccolo even merging with Nail was stated to be a 5 times increase for his power, and the merger with Kami should have been far greater than that, putting him on par with Android 17, where before he was only on par with Android 20 and literally got one shot by Android 17. Piccolo would go on to get demolished by First Form Cell, who could match Android 16, but then in his second form take a hit directly from 16 to his face and not even flinch before dismissing the android with an easy ki blast. Vegeta and Trunks would be able to bully this same Cell, with Trunks then displaying his grade 3 transformation, which is stated to be a 10 times increase in power, although his mobility gets limited greatly. This possibly makes the Super Saiyan Grade 4 transformation a greater than 500 times increase over base form, as it's stated to be superior to Grade 3. However, before you take that and run with it, this could be because it increases your power without the decrease to your speed, and obviously if this form was obtained, that means it's easier for you to hold on to your Super Saiyan. Nonetheless, Goku surpassed Trunks easily. Cell is obviously still stronger than Goku, and Gohan would go on to surpass him with ease and demonstrate it multiple times over. Keep all this in mind, by the way, because remember, Frieza got surpassed long ago, and he still lapped this multiple times over. After a 7-year time skip, Goku would demonstrate he surpassed his son's previous level of power versus Cell when he displayed Super Saiyan 2 against Majin Vegeta. It's worth noting Goku thinks Dabra, another new face and villain, is just as strong as Cell was, and that he would have been a strong opponent a few years ago, with Vegeta stating Dabra outside of his spit just isn't that impressive. Goku will go on to fight beyond the level of a Super Saiyan against Vegeta, forcing Majin Buu to awaken from the loss of energy, and then Majin Buu, who toyed with and beat on Vegeta, who was just matched with Goku, would get matched and surpassed by Goku's new transformation, Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3 gives Goku a 4 times boost to his Super Saiyan 2 form, making it a 400 times boost over his base form. Goku's son Gohan would go on to get even stronger than this, having his potential awakened by the Elder Kaioshin, but Goku would even be able to eventually surpass that, although the timeline differs when it comes to both anime and manga. In the manga continuity, Goku either surpasses Gohan when getting rejuvenated by the Namekian Dragon Balls, or a year later in Daima, which the intro for it says that Goku possesses unparalleled strength, and Shin says as far as he knows, Goku is the strongest in the universe. I know Daima is the anime, but it's a continuation of the manga as well. The reanimated portions of the Buu saga shown in the first episode are all with the manga accurate angles, not the ones from the anime. Although if you want to consider the continuation of the anime as well, it doesn't really change the argument, and I will say I myself personally agree it is a continuation of the anime as well. In the anime, Goku is very clearly superior to Gohan, and that likely comes as a result of him getting beaten badly by Buuhan before fusing with Vegeta, giving him a Zenkai boost. When being absorbed by Buuhan, Goku and Vegeta split from being Vegito into their original forms. Them being tiny are stated to be at 1% of their original power that they possessed. The Daizenshu TV animation part 3 saying, "From the walls of flesh, Majin Buu's face pops out. Moreover, inside his body, Buu is immortal. On the other hand, Goku and his friend's power is reduced to less than 1% of its original level." Goku's friend in this context is obviously Vegeta. Daizenshu 5 says after parting ways with the Roundworm father and his sons, they encounter Gohan. Vegeta fights Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks and Piccolo. They are the fake super warriors with the same strength as the real ones. And Goku and Vegeta, who are at 1%, fight these guys in base, then go up to Super Saiyan, but regardless, they're at 1% of their original power, and Goku defeats Gohan, likely multiple times, as him and Vegeta claim the fake warriors won't stay down and keep getting back up, and they think they can't be destroyed. If Goku truly is at 1% of his power, then he would be, as his Super Saiyan state, 100 times greater than Ultimate Gohan, or Mystic Gohan, whatever you want to call him, and that would mean he's around 800 times stronger than him with Super Saiyan 3. This is mostly pointless, however, as compared to the jump Goku makes in Battle of Gods, all these power levels seem like nothing in comparison. It is worth noting that Beerus for some reason doesn't think that Goku could handle Frieza in his base form, but it's worth keeping in mind that Goku just got done training for one. He's on King Kai's planet, which is heavier, and we know being heavier lowers your power level, and that Beerus is likely trying to bait Goku into transforming anyway. After getting completely beaten by Beerus, Goku notes that not even a fusion of him and Vegeta would be able to put Beerus down, which means a potential Super Saiyan 3 Vegito wouldn't have been enough for Beerus. There are differences in how big the actual boost of Potara provides when combining two people. When in the Universe 7, we're told in the Super Exciting Guide that Potara fusion is fighter times fighter, literally saying Goku times Vegeta equals Vegito. The power owing up to the merger is not the sum of their two battle powers, but something as amazing as multiplication. However, in Dragon Ball Super, this is seemingly retconned with Vados saying that the increase is tens of times, which is extremely vague. It's possible the Potara fusion simply works differently with different Supreme Kai earrings, but I honestly don't know what to make of it, so I'm going to pick my personal favorite and run with that since I have free will and I'm choosing to use it right here. If Potara fusion is fighter times fighter, then it would make this leap even more impressive. I don't want to speculate how astronomically high Goku and Vegeta's power levels have gotten over the course of this series up to this point, but even if you took Goku's power level on Namek of 150 million, or even his base power level of 3 million, and Vegeta, who is obviously stronger than that now, merged with Goku, then the boost from Super Saiyan God, which is stronger than Potara, would be well beyond those numbers, making it possibly billions of times stronger than someone's base form. I will say though, no one ever really talks about the fact that Goku might have just been wrong. He does make this statement before he even gets to know what Super Saiyan God really is. I guess it would be weird if Vegeta could just beat Beerus and Goku just stuck with Super Saiyan God, but to be fair, at least at this point in the series, Goku hasn't shown he's willing to fuse against unfused beings, but also to make a point in Super Saiyan God's favor, Goku's constantly saying that he's amazed just by how incredible the power of Super Saiyan God was, and that the power went beyond his imagination, which should mean it is indeed stronger than he thought Vegeta would be. This does not mean that Super Saiyan God is always the same level of multiplier every time Goku turns it on, however. A lot of people seem to forget that Super Saiyan God originally involved a ritual where 4 people all poured their ki into Goku and power him up, on top of then getting God ki. It's more like this boosted Goku's power exponentially than this being a static multiplier that's ever present throughout the rest of the series. So while Goku does get an absolute massive jump here beyond what Vegeta would have been, he does not get what would be higher than a 150 million times multiplier every time he turns on Super Saiyan God. What the exact multiplier is doesn't matter too much. All I'm doing now is tracking progress to eventually link back to Frieza. The next installment in Dragon Ball involved Frieza's second canonical return, but we're well into number 7 or 8 in the entirety of the Dragon Ball franchise, including movies and GT. This time, Goku is powered up considerably higher, not only having his exponential boost from Battle of Gods applied to his base form or Super Saiyan depending on movie or anime canon, but regardless, he has this on top of much more training from probably his best master yet, and definitely his strongest master, unlocking Super Saiyan Blue, which some guides state is him and Vegeta increasing infinitely beyond their past level. This makes Goku prepared to fight with Golden Frieza, who according to some promotional material is the worst possible threat, and that Goku was ready for the fight specifically because of Whis' training. Frieza is also stated by his voice actor to have a power level of 100 quintillion, which seems absurd, but even with all that we've gone over, this is a complete downplay for Frieza. Even using his power level on Namek and stacking the relevant multipliers throughout the series without even accounting for how much stronger characters would get, you would get a power level of 5.76 times 10 to the 22nd power, which is 57.6 sextillion. And if you were to put this number on Google, you would literally get a tutorial on how to say big numbers. So that's something to keep in mind. And like I said, this is a downplay number. This number does not account for any characters getting stronger at all. The best part about this for Frieza is that he obtained this incredible new level of power with just 4 months of training, which he had quite literally never done in his life. If you put this into perspective, Trunks beat Frieza a year and a half after his defeat on Namek. If Frieza would have trained within that amount of time, he would have been so powerful that no one in Dragon Ball Z would have been able to stop him, maybe even surpassing the suppressed and weakened Beerus from Battle of Gods, who was rusty and hadn't trained in a long time. Frieza doesn't even lose in this arc because of his lack of power. He loses because his lack of experience with his new form, which causes him to massively burn energy. He of course fixes this problem later, but let's focus on this for now. Frieza only lost in Resurrection F because Whis was present. Without Whis, Frieza absolutely wins. Everyone was caught off guard by Frieza's planet explosion and either perished in the explosion or due to the fact that they couldn't survive in space. After Frieza's defeat, we don't see him again until the Tournament of Power, where beforehand he displays terrifying new strength once again, getting possibly 10 times stronger from mental training alone and overcoming his stamina problem and showcasing he's on par with Blue Goku, who had surpassed his Kaioken times 10 self against Hit. Although it should be noted, considering that they tied here, if Goku went blue even times 2, he would have won against Frieza. Another crazy display from Frieza here is the ability to control destruction energy and resist it to the extent it does no damage to him at all, with seemingly his first ever interaction with it. Frieza would go into the Tournament of Power and constantly power up and surpass his previous levels, just like the Saiyans, growing unquantifiably stronger within the tournament's 48-minute lifespan and regaining his life as a reward for helping the universe avoid certain destruction. Sometime later in the Broly movie, Frieza would prove so resilient he can withstand getting a beating by Broly for over an hour, while Goku and Vegeta literally run away to try and perform the fusion dance. Frieza in the novelization for this fight says that there was no being in existence that could win against Broly, while literally taking his attacks and doing so, like I said, for over an hour. After continuing his conquest of the universe, Frieza would find a hyperbolic time chamber-like space on the planet he was conquering and went inside to train. Meanwhile, the title for the literal strongest in the universe would be passed back and forth, with Gas being the ultimate claimer of the title at the end of the arc, after continuously surpassing Ultra Ego Vegeta and Ultra Instinct Goku. Frieza comes in and one-shots this version of Gas without much effort at all, and then does the exact same thing to Goku and Vegeta while probably holding back, which a lot of people don't mention. Gas just showed himself superior to Goku and Vegeta yet again after they thought they had defeated him, and on top of that, when he sees Frieza, he powers up even further before rushing at him, and Frieza simply puts a hole in his chest. This is in stark contrast to the punch he deals to both Goku and Vegeta, one-shotting them out of their forms, which, while still dealing heavy damage, is less than what he dealt to Gas. It's also not as if Frieza had killing intent versus the Saiyans anyway. He literally one-shots them and then leaves. The chapter is also literally titled "The Universe's Strongest Appears." Frieza ends up telling everyone that he trained for 10 years in this separate dimension and was thus excluded from the wish of being the strongest in the universe. Frieza's training proved to be spectacular as well, showing great improvement to ki management and how he uses his new form. Frieza only enters this form to attack and quickly exits once he's done attacking, a big contrast to how he used his golden form when he had acquired it. And Vegeta even compliments Frieza on his ki control when talking to Goku about goals they should strive for. So, with 10 years of training under his belt and the potential to completely surpass the Saiyans, how strong is Frieza now? I think it's safe to conclude that Frieza won't be surpassed by some simple training method that Goku and Vegeta employ, and it's going to take another breakthrough in order to reach this level of power. But let me make one thing clear. For some reason, everyone has seemed to forget, this is Dragon Ball. People who look impossible to surpass get surpassed every single time. And just because Frieza is extremely talented with high potential doesn't mean he can't reach his soft cap, if you get what I mean. Wild potential is great, but if Frieza started nearing the pinnacle of where his power could go, then 10 years might not have made the giant difference that we think it does right now. While it does seem like Frieza and other characters in Dragon Ball have infinite limits, we don't really know all that much about Frieza. We have no idea how old he is or what limit for him might be. And I'm only saying this not to downplay Frieza, but because I want everyone to think about this type of stuff before Frieza inevitably gets surpassed like all previous Dragon Ball villains. That's pretty much it for this video. However, next Dragon Ball video is going to cover MUI Goku and Beast Gohan. Obviously, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel. But other than that, have a nice day.